Invisible insurgents, ununified, anonymous, leaderless, defiance. That's the way forward. This is why I don't think that it's good when people become very popular, is why I don't want to become popular myself. Having a couple of hundred views, sort of 1 to 500 views on my videos suits me fine. The message always gets out to the right people, you know that. I think the main place that we need to focus is not, as always, is not the outer life, but the inner life. Because unless you change the inner life, the outer life, you will be battling all the time. The inner comes first, and that gives opportunities in the outer, whether that be because you feel the enthusiasm to pursue a certain path, whether you're now open to possibilities, certain possibilities, whether your mind is unclouded to see those possibilities that come up. And I'm just the same as anybody else. I get moments of, I wouldn't call it desperation. I'd call it, it's not even depression. Anxiety, yes. And that feeling that it's all doomed, This is a natural sort of thing that you feel. Nobody's positive all the time. Nobody can be positive all the time. But you must try and purge those sort of bad moments, live them, and then purge them out of your life. Move on. Find ways to transform that trauma into some kind of positivity again. Find the answers. You know what I mean? You know what happens when you get down and you get depressed and you get anxiety? When an answer pops into your head, or you open yourself up to the possibilities of an answer and something pops up in around you, the feeling of relief is immense. It's like you get rewarded. Well done. Well done. You've made it past that point of doom and gloom, and you've found the answer we wanted to find you to find. And if you didn't find that, you'd still be being tortured now until you do. So you better sort of focus on what you need to do to get over that point in your life and not try and do the same thing. Life is all about moving along. Things do change all the time. That's the only certainty in the world, that everything changes constantly. There's no way everything could stay exactly the same forever. And there's no truer time than now for that. If I discovered, you find different ways of transforming this trauma. And I discovered a channel on YouTube that does it for me. It takes you away from the mainstream views. It takes you away from everything, and it takes you away from actually the worries of life, if you know what I mean. But what at the same time is a very real channel. It's a sailing channel, actually. It's a very real channel. But I just want to share to you what I do. If I sort of show what I do, the only thing that sort of seems to work with me every time I get in that real point of desperation, and it offers itself to me. I don't go searching necessarily. It just seems to keep popping up. And yeah, it gives you that sense of hope. Like, you need to keep that wonder alive. That don't tie yourself down into what you're being told is the new reality, or the what they call it now, the new normal or something like that. Oh, what a load of crap. There's always a new normal. Every day's a new normal. Nothing ever stays the same. So don't let them feed you this like it's a new ideology that needs to be brought in and everybody needs to obey, because those obeyers will obey, and you need to avoid them like the plague. Excuse the pun. They are infected. They are infected. Yeah, so to pull yourself away from that and create your new normal, you need to first change your mindset to a mindset of open to possibilities, feeling of freedom within yourself. Very important, that, to feel that there is something out there, for you. Put a bit of meaning back into your life, That's very important, that is, to have some sort of meaning, some sort of goal. And not a goal that you think is your goal, but in actual fact is a goal to serve everybody else in your life. It's a personal goal, something that you see maybe for you and your close loved ones, or just you on your own. Something you want to achieve. And it gives you a sense of meaning in life, where it makes you want to live on. You no longer wish to die. You don't want to be rid of this world and things like that. You start looking like, well, I could do this. Those possibilities are now open to me. And you get past those points where you don't value your life. And the more you sort of feel like giving up, in whatever form that is, whether it be sort of taking your own life, or just generally just giving up on life itself, what you have to remember is that is always the birthplace for a new beginning. Because if you were willing, and I know if you've been a long time follower of my channel, you would have heard me say all this before in other videos. If you're feeling so down that you no longer wish to live, for instance, the best way to transform that I've found is to get yourself in, not only put the meaning back into your life, but to get yourself in the right frame of mind to purge your life of all the things that were trying to kill you. And that could be things, it could be people. But at the end of the day, when you've got the possibility, the real strong possibility that you will no longer be on this planet, you get to the point where you think, well, so anything I do from this point on is a bonus, for starters. Anything I do can have no consequences in some sort of degree. That's not perhaps quite the right sort of ideal to come from it from. What I mean is be brave. Be brave on creating your new meaning in life. So if you've got someone who's very toxic in your life, and this is what I'm referring to by that statement, you can just delete them completely out of your life. Because what difference does it really make? If you weren't going to be here, or something like that, then it makes no difference in your life whether or not they're actually in your life in the future. In terms of, it can only really get better, can it? And for instance, you need to just take yourself away from the mindset of everybody talking about it. Every time you walk outside your front door, someone wants to mention it, or you overhear conversations about this this invisible enemy, whatever you want to call it. What is the invisible enemy? I think that's a good way of describing it, because it can be many things, right? What is the enemy? Who has changed your life in a bad way, in a worse way? Who's destroyed your financial meaning? Who's trying to reform your outlook on life by destroying your current life to a point where it can never be recovered, and therefore make you subservient, say, for instance, right? So you need to get all those things and people out of your life. And for instance, if you change a small percentage of your life, like 10% of your life or whatever, to something a bit different, you've opened up new opportunities. But you also got to remember that you need to escape that mindset of poverty, of even if you live it is all around you, the evidence is there in the physical reality, you don't need to live it in the mental reality, and you'll find that opportunities come your way, even when you just free your mind a bit. So in the interest of doing this real heartfelt video in as quick a time as possible, because sometimes it takes me a whole day to upload, which is ridiculous, I want to point you towards, if you're into that feeling of freedom and the fact that there is still a possibility out there that you can just like live off the land, say for instance, and not be one of these, I'm free to walk wherever I want to walk and start walking over fences or barbed wire fences all day long, and marching through grass, and not letting anybody tell you shouldn't be on their private land. And I mean in terms of like a true freedom, not just a freedom that you're fighting. It's like people are fighting to have that freedom. You don't fight to have the freedom. You just feel that you're free, and all the opportunities come towards you. So there's a channel that I'm watching personally. This is my personal story. Get a bit down over the last few days, and I get little moments. I made a video a couple of days ago, but I haven't really been on that much. It's just been like car videos or something like that. And you do get your moments of downness, and I don't want to come on and bring any doom and gloom to anybody else. And we've all got enough in our lives as it is to deal with. So I just distanced myself. But then, funny enough, this channel popped up, and it's called. I'll put a link in the description actually, and in the comments as well, so you got it wherever you go. I think it's called Sailing Project Atticus, right? And it's basically a couple of people decided to, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever they are, I haven't been watching it that long, decided to get themselves a sailboat and decided they were going to live off-grid. So they got themselves a couple of budget solar panels, a wind-powered thing. They stocked up on a little bit of fuel, so they got diesel sort of engine as a backup. And they decide to sail by wind and go all around the Caribbean, and I think they're eventually going to do the world. I haven't watched it that much yet. Surviving off the surroundings they have, rainwater captioned in their canopy that they temporarily put on their boat. They fixed a little tube coming off of that in the low point, and they fill up all their water containers from that. And that gives them like a reset on their time they can stay at sea. If not, they just got to go on land for a little bit. For all you vegans out there is spearfishing. So if you think you're going to live on tin food and be able to sail out somewhere or whatever, then you've got another thing coming. And what does it involve to actually tin that food, if you know what I mean? Nothing against veganism. I'm just saying there's some spearfishing on there. People need to survive. You need to find a way to live off grid. It's all abundant. Fish are abundant in the Caribbean, say, for instance. And if you're a pescatarian, then you're fine, because you're living off seafood. That's it. But it gives you some sort of sense of hope that you can just, on a budget, get yourself a small boat. They got a rusty old fridge and things like that. But the lifestyle they live, we could only dream of. We're all landlocked, up to these guys. We're just sat around in these, with no ocean around us, a lot of us. So, it gives you that sort of sense of hope, and it gives you that feeling. The most important thing is you might not want to sail the world, but by watching it, you get that sense of feeling that you're on that boat with them, that you're watching that sunset. And they share the good and the bad. They're not just all about the good. Yeah, so that's the way I sort of transform those feelings inside, and then opportunities seem to come my way. I don't know why. I don't know where it comes from. It's a higher sort of thing. Higher whatever. It's the universe sort of provides, if you know what I mean. And synchronicities come your way, and you end up, we create that feeling inside, and things seem to happen, if you know what I mean. Life don't seem to tie you down, even though the physical reality wants to tie you down. Because you're so mentally free, you tend to take more advantage of the good points that come along. So, it's all about that sort of individual insurgence, that invisible insurgence in the brain. You can change everything in your life without actually really doing anything, and take advantage of everything that comes your way. So I'll speak to you guys soon. Because this video is nearly 15 minutes long, so it's probably gonna, take quite a while to upload. Well, I'd imagine think it's the 7th of May today. I said the 5th of April the other day. That's because that's my birthday. I must have got mixed up. I meant the 5th of May for my last video. But I'll speak to you guys soon, okay? Bye.